This video shows how to build a very handy tabletop bandsaw using a portable handsaw. This is a copy of the original Harbor Freight Model 47840 portable bandsaw. I've used one of these saws converted to a table saw for over 15 years. They're noisy and tough. The first version I made had a small steel table that we used for many years. A few years ago, the table was replaced with a table made from flooring materials with a miter groove. It worked good, but was not very stable and didn't last very long. The wood table was replaced with an aluminum table made from the door of a Mac G5, but with no miter groove. And recently, a small steel table with a miter groove was fabricated for it, which does everything I need. But my kids wanted one, so I made 2 additional copies for them, but used a commercial swag table rather than fabricating small tables. This shows how these tables were made. This saw can be purchased on Amazon as portable electric bandsaw with no label or model number for under $140. This is a portable bandsaw I put together. It's one of the most useful tools I have in my shop, and it's made using a swag Model 4 portable bandsaw table, and this saw is the equivalent of a Harbor Freight 470 model, which they don't sell. They sold about 15 years ago. There's still some you can find on Amazon.com, and the reason I bought this one is because it has a 2 1/4 inch throat in here. None of the other portable saws has that. There's some modifications have to be made to it also. The other thing that I added to it was a safety paddle switch here in the front. And this is the spare parts from the swag, and these are the spare parts, including a set of brushes for the bandsaw. This is the underside view, and the one thing they had to do was that there was a cut had to be taken out of the top of the table. It had to drill 2 holes and thread them, and then manufacture this plate, which there's a diagram of it. The other part I did was with this was I used a regular behind the wall box and cut the back end off of it and added a regular wall outlet to it for the bandsaw, and then the cord is tied on with a cable tie, and the switch is locked on with a cable tie. So this controls everything, and this is the power switch. And it has feet, of course, so you can tie it down so it doesn't jump around. But these saws do have some defects that need to be corrected. The frame needs to have a 1/2 inch hole drilled at the bottom to let the chips fall out. Also, to keep chips out of the gears, a thin sheet metal chip guard is fabricated. This shield is installed behind the bottom tire wheel with 3 rubber spacer washers to keep it close to the wheel face. To mount the saw on the Swag V4.0 table, an adapter is fabricated from 1/8 inch mild steel plate as shown in this drawing. These oversized holes allow for adjusting the saw to the table with 2 short cap screws and star lock washers. The screws can't protrude above the table surface. The Swag V4.0 table also needs to have a piece removed for the saw to fit as shown in red on this image. The table also needs to have 2 5/16 18 threaded holes as shown in this image to fit the adapter plate. The finished product is a very useful tool. To replace the blade requires removing the saw from the table. Reinstalling the saw requires carefully realigning the blade with the miter groove. Thank you very much for watching this video.